If there is one Baker Mayfield truther in the world, it is you. You are him. And unfortunately, Baker fell short this year. There you are, wearing the Browns shirt jersey. Beautiful coloring, beautiful design there. The Lions win this one. Who did you feel like this game said more about?
I think it. I do think. I think it said a lot about Baker Mayfield, man. Baker did play good. That's the one thing that I don't want to do, because we do this attribution thing, like you said, with Purdy. We do it with Josh Allen. Oh, well, Brock Purdy won, so he's Joe Montana. And Josh Allen lost, so he's basically Joe Ferguson. He's an O.J. Simpson merchant. You know what I mean?
He's Philip Rivers.
He's
Emmanuel
a
Acho
bozo
said,
because he lost.
Emmanuel Acho said, we may need to come to terms with the fact that Josh Allen may, in fact, be more Philip Rivers than Peyton Manning. Shut up.
You're
what
joking.
What are you talking about? No, I mean, it's Emmanuel Acho, bro. He also said that Tua was the second coming, like he's a clown. But that's the discourse, man. That's where we're headed.
And what is the Peyton Manning comp? Peyton, most playoff runs sucked more than he played. I don't really understand that comparison.
Game to game, Logan, in the playoffs, the gap between Josh and Peyton, people
massive.
Don't want to hear about it. People don't want to know about it. Josh has game to game been one of the greatest playoff performers ever, but alas, we move on.
Yeah, so Baker loses this game, and of course, in Baker Mayfield fashion, shout out Matt Sponauer of Stay Hot, friend of the show, tweeted out Baker was due, and man, that's what I felt like. Like, Baker had gone so above and beyond in this football game, and it did. And I saw Cade. I read that play at the pre-snap, and I said to my friends, I was like, I'm going to throw an out route to Cade Otton here. The out route's going to be open. Instead, Cade runs an in-breaking route. That was the play design, and Baker just forced. You could see it coming. I mean, he telegraphs that ball right to the linebacker. They make a great play. But honestly, Carson, when I say it said a lot to me about Baker, it also said a lot to me about the Lions secondary. The scariest thing about the Detroit Lions, and I want to pick them to win this game, and I want them to get to the Super Bowl, because Lions fans have suffered for so long. I want them to experience joy and happiness, hopefully something that the Buffalo Bills fans can experience at one point.
Unlikely.
There were two clutch drives that Baker Mayfield led that ended in points, in touchdowns, and they took less than 2 minutes for the Buccaneers to march down the field. They were all big shot plays. The one at the end of the first half, that final drive, you got a Trey Palmer one-handed catch on the sideline. You've got the big Baker Mayfield read option. You've got two big Mike Evans shot plays, and then a great play design to get Cade Otton wide open on the left side for that touchdown. Flawless 2-minute drill, and they get big points at the end of the first half. And then you got a second half drive where they go 9 plays, 75 yards, a minute 45. Clutch drive, man. Baker hits Mike Evans for a 4th and 14. He's got a pinpoint throw between 3 defenders to Chris Godwin. I mean, Baker Mayfield played a great game here. Leads another drive to get him close and sets them up to where they had an opportunity at the end of the game. Again, they fall short. And I want to criticize Todd Bowles here. I completely misunderstood the call to go for 2 points in that scenario. You are down 8 points. You're potentially going to have one final drive to make this thing happen. Kick the field goal, go down 7, and then if you want to steal the game after you get another touchdown, take the 2-point conversion and steal the game there. Don't blow your load. And you're setting yourself up for failure where you have to get the 2-point conversion to send to overtime. To me, it is a very dumb decision by Todd Bowles to go for 2 there at the end of the game. You're just
okay. Well, first of all,
you're stealing the thunder from your own team.
This is a family program, so I'd like you to watch your phrasing there. But second of all, I think the thinking there is it's the classic, all right, we want to know what we need. So you go for it first, and you think, all right, statistically, whatever, 2-point conversions have like a 48% success rate. But you think, all right, we've got our best call of the game. It's the playoffs. Maybe we've drawn something special. If we have something we really like, then maybe we feel like we are most likely going to convert here. But if we don't, and if we do convert, then boom. If we score again, we've won the game. We just got to make an extra point unless we have Tyler Bass out there. But if we don't get it, then we know that we need to go for 2. So I think that that's the thinking there.
Well, and here's my thinking is you kick the field goal here, you go down 7. Like I'm just saying is you're giving yourself an option later. You're giving
Mm-hmm.
yourself a door and a window to get out of this game. By
Yeah.
going for 2 and you're handcuffing yourself to having to escape through the window. You get what I'm saying? Like I just think
Poetry.
you're limiting yourself for later in the game when you have opportunities. That being said, that is the one thing that really scares me about the Detroit Lions is the fact that uh, that they were so susceptible to quick strike, big play
Yeah.
opportunities. And I expected Tampa Bay to connect on these. Their secondary has been weak, uh,
Like H.R. Pickens.
and I think the difference in this game too, H.R. Pickens. I think the big difference in this game, Jamel Dean's injury left the Buccaneers kind of open on the back end. I think that was a huge factor. I thought he played such a great game. And I think the Lions played an awesome offensive game, too. Ben Johnson was dialing up play after play. I mean, just great decisions. The 1 third down to Brock Wright where he gets open. Ben Johnson was in his bag this game. And so I want to give a ton of credit to him. I want to give a ton of credit to Aaron Glenn, too. For dialing up secondary blitzes. I thought Baker was really hurried all night when they would dial up a corner or a secondary coming off or a defensive back coming off the edge. Baker never saw those guys, and I think that is going to be crucial against San Francisco, dialing up some of those timely blitzes. But that's still the Achilles heel to this team to me, Carson, and something that scares me. With all these playmakers that San Francisco has, if Shanahan can dial up the perfect play at the perfect time, I think the Niners are going to hit on a lot of shot plays that could kill Detroit. It didn't kill them against Tampa Bay because that's Baker Mayfield. This is an inferior team. I think it will come back to bite them against San Francisco because I do think they're the better team. Detroit's really good, but those big shot plays and those quick strike drives, again, 2 drives that went over 75 yards in less than 2 minutes that ended in points, both drives. That is terrifying to me and something that Detroit has to clean up if they want to get to the Super Bowl.
I totally agree. It is their big red flag. It is their big limitation as a football team, and it does still inhibit them from being a real contender in my eyes. You look at the other 3 teams that are still out there, elite defenses, 2 of them with elite quarterbacks. That's the formula. Really good offense and versatile offense where you can run the ball down people's throats or you can dominate as a passing attack when Goff is on, when Goff is good. That's great, but they're going to struggle to get stops against anybody. And I can guarantee you they're going to struggle to get stops against the San Francisco 49ers, and I don't think that they're going to get many of them. So that's the takeaway for Detroit. It's been the same limiting factor this year. It is awesome that they are here. It is awesome that Goff has been really good through 2 games and all this stuff. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for Dan Campbell, everybody from the 313. Put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. I got my beanie on. Like, shout outs to everybody there. But that's going to be the thing that, to me, keeps them from being a real threat. Like, out of the 4 teams left to me, they're pretty clearly 4th in terms of their Super Bowl upside. For the Bucs, there's not really a whole bunch of takeaways here. It was a win for them to get to this point. It was a win for them to have a chance in this game. This is a team that I thought was going to be one of the worst in the NFL. And you've now figured out that Baker is your guy, at least as a bridge quarterback, at least for a couple years. Like, he's going to keep you really competitive if your defense plays well. Mike Evans is still a stud. Like, good for them, dude. I don't think that there's anything really but positive takeaways from this year, unless like you've now talked yourself into, oh my God, Baker is the guy. He's our franchise quarterback for the next half decade. Then I think you need to settle down because, yeah, this is going to happen. Like, as you're saying, he was due, and he had that ball in the first half in the end zone, literally right in a defensive player's hands, and he just got bailed out by a drop. But it's a very, very impressive season for them. I will say, of course, missed field goal in this game. Chase McLaughlin, 50 yards. And that's one more thing that I'll say about Tyler Bass, okay? Everybody's going to throw out the Scotty Norwood comparisons. We're back to the Bills game. We're back. Everybody's going to talk about wide right. Listen, missing from 44 yards in 1990, okay? That was like the equivalent of 68 yards today, okay? Everybody back then had polio. Everybody was drunk. They had left feet. I'm pretty sure Scotty Norwood was smoking a cigar as he went up to kick it. Okay, 44 yards today, it's a field goal. It's a gimme. It's an extra point. You're supposed to make it. Kickers, man. Kickers. The agony of defeat.